What's up, guys? This is Code Conspiracy of a Deadman from the SpeakInCOAD podcast. We are having some technical difficulties, and we're going to release a recap and a teaser of what episodes 6 and 7 are, and it will lead right into kind of what we're going to be talking about with episode 8, and then what will eventually turn into episode 9. Just stay tuned and stay with us. We're going to drop this one right now, and then after that, we're going to just keep on rolling. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Here's the show. Hey guys, you're listening to the SpeakInCOAD podcast. This is Code Conspiracy of a Deadman. I'm sitting here with BBD, Theodore Dynamite, and Chente the homie.
Gentlemen.
Yeah, so I think the last episode we talked about UFOs, we talked about aliens, and then we just went straight to current events and talked about the train derailment, the hamsters on the wheel that fell off and messed it up, and then went into a Chinese balloon, and then wasn't there something else?
The chemicals from the train.
And maybe the possible start of World War III.
I think we touched on that. I can't remember.
Yeah, we did. We'll get there. Once we get that episode out, we'll get you all caught up with these ones.
I get you my cardio up there.
Yeah. So how you doing, Chente? I feel like we haven't all talked or got together for.
Well, that's because you're out there in Bama doing what you do.
No. I've been back. We did like 7 episodes. Oh yeah,
you wanted to hang with your new friends and left us in the wind.
He wasn't that new of a friend. I knew him after you, but before Chente, so it was like a middle friend.
Well, me and Teddy been speaking. All right, we're feeling left out.
Yeah.
Did you miss us while you were gone?
Of course I did. I wish that I would have had more time.
I'm saying.
Well, I was out getting drunk. And
Bro, I've been drunk texting Teddy all the time.
You're like, we did like 16 Black Holes episodes, but we didn't even record them.
We said we were recording, but we were speaking into a bar. So.
Oh, so you were speaking in soap. Or speaking in soap.
Speaking in soap. Oh, yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Yes?
It's going to be an episode, but...
It will be an episode.
If
it starts getting dark. We talked a little bit about symbolism too, I think, in the last one. And then I think I brought up Stanley Kubrick and like some of the movies. One of the movies he did too was Clockwork Orange.
Okay.
I forget about that one.
I remember you mentioning that, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, me neither. It's like an old one.
You gotta watch 2001: The Space Odyssey.
Oh yes, that's the other one he did. So, not to jump too much into the episode and like change topics or anything, we'll definitely touch on a few things. But I was talking with a buddy of ours, mine and Chente's friend, and he the whole ride to work, I was like talking to him. He's like, "Yeah, what do you think about?" I think I mentioned I didn't believe in aliens, like from the last episode.
Yeah.
I was just kind of touching base on what we were talking about, and then it just went full blown crazy. Like he was like, "What do you mean you don't believe in aliens?" And then I started talking to him about like, well, I think they're demons or they're interdimensional beings, and then I started talking about the Annunaki, and he was just like, "What?" And I go, "I don't think that we've evolved. I think we've devolved. I think that the people from the beginning weren't cavemen and dumb and just slow and
Are you calling me the Mrs. Link?
Mrs. Link?
Missing Link.
Oh, I was like, Mrs. Doubtfire, maybe. Not Mrs. Link. Yeah. Oh, no. Help is on the way, dear. I feel like I could do that better if I wasn't so stuffed up. But, yeah, so I kind of filled him in with that stuff. And then he was just kind of intrigued. He's like, dude, how the heck would you even come up with that? I'm like, honestly, whenever we're doing the podcast, sometimes somebody will say something and it just clicks. And then when it's like, you jump in, like when you're jumping rope, and it's like, what's it called? Double Dutch. Yeah, when it's double Dutch, and you're like, all right, it's my turn, and you jump in, and you're like, boom, 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 and it's like rapid fire, and people are like, well, what the heck? How did you come up with that? And you're like,
I took A times X equals 15. Like,
yeah.
no, basic geometry.
Yeah.
I mean, algebra.
E equals
geometry.
E equals MC Hammer.
Yes.
They had it wrong. It makes parachute pants. So I talked to him about that stuff, and he was just like super intrigued, and like I was surprised at the feedback from him. Like he was like, "Dude, I can't believe you guys even came up with that stuff." Like how we were talking about the deities or the fallen angels or the watchers or
Being
those
Annunaki.
yeah, or the Anunnaki coming here and just saying, maybe they were saying like, "Hey, since they were kicked out of heaven as the fallen angels, maybe they were coming out and saying like, I am a god," you know, to get them to stop.
Yep.
So
one thing I think we should do, go back and see what, like, because we read about them, but like, see what the actual meaning of their names is, and compare that to the meaning of some of the Greek and Norse and Egyptian gods to see if there's any correlation of who may have been named after.
I got you. Yeah. Well, one of them I think for sure was Ishtar. She was the demon that's named in the Bible.
Okay.
But in Greek mythology, she was considered Aphrodite. In Anunnaki, she was also considered Ishtar. And then in Roman, she was Venus.
Okay. In Hindu, isn't there an Ishtar?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same one.
I don't know if it's. I don't think it's Ishtar. I think it's something else.
Okay.
Because what's crazy is I'm reading that a grand unified conspiracy.
Yes.
And I'm getting to those parts.
Okay.
Like he actually touched on that, which is freaking dope. Because I feel like everything we're kind of touching on, I'm like reading this book and I'm like, we touched on that. Yep. Holy crap.
Are the Annunaki the Pangea conspiracies?
I think they're the Pangea, period.
You tie everything together.
Yeah.
And then we've just separated it, not knowing that it all had one origin.
Well, I also think about the Tower of Babel, how everything got separated. You know, I almost feel like that could have been either Pangea happening on its own, or maybe another cataclysm that caused it. And then here's what's really
the cataclysm was, you know, because with Tower of Babel, we were trying to get as high as God to be where God was, and divided our languages. What if it's all one? He caused the cataclysm and separated the languages, and it was one land. He's like, yeah, you guys are getting too big for your britches, and he just
Well, here the other thing too, which is really cool. You just mentioned that the Tower of Babel was tore down and all the languages were separated, right? There's an app that you can download for your phone called Babel, where you can learn all of the languages. So it's almost like they're trying to make good is evil and evil is good, you know. So like, I don't know. I thought that was kind of a cool.
Or like the tattoo we were talking about with Kevin Owens. He said, "Live one way, evil the other way."
Yeah, like if you look at it in a mirror.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens, the wrestler. Oh, so I was talking to him about that stuff on the way to work, and he was like very intrigued, and I felt like I'm not a philosopher by any means. I feel like we just come up with this stuff, or we read into it, or look into it, and we just run with it, and it's fun, you know.
Think about it in the shower.
Yes, exactly. So at work today, he was sitting there and asking me about like stuff came up. We started talking about what was I talking about? I think I mentioned that there was like another Clinton aide that got killed or suicided.
Oh. Okay.
So they found
Allegedly.
Oh yes, allegedly. I don't want to accuse anybody of stuff that you know for a fact that they probably did. So he ended up going, like, they found him tied to a tree with an extension cord and a gunshot wound to the chest. And they didn't find the gun. So I don't know if he shot himself in the chest first and then went to the tree out in the middle of nowhere and then tied himself with the extension cord, or if he tied himself with the extension cord, then shot himself and then hid the gun, and then, or I don't know, maybe the gun was in the hole of the tree, or
please tell me they didn't rule this as suicide.
They did. So allegedly. To be fair.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, you know, because I fell down the elevator shaft with 6 bullets in my back.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you did like Wanted, and you shot around the corner in the bend, and you went, bah, 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 and you waited, and then they came around the corner of the other side, and it hit you.
And then I fell down the elevator.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. It's not real. I tried at the.
What? Please tell me you're joking. Please don't say you really. Okay.
I said I tried at the shooting range.
But I feel like there were people that saw that movie and really went and tried.
Oh yes, allegedly.
Allegedly.
So I talked to him a little bit about that, and I was tying a former president and a wife of his that starts with a C and ends with "you next Tuesday," and how I very dislike her so much, but how they have 50 friends that have parted ways with our time and space and continuum of Earth and their soul and their spirit from their body, and they. What's that?
On a round Earth?
Yeah, on a round Earth. Can I turn the volume up on this? I can barely hear him.
I think it's all right.
Is it? Sorry, Chente, the homie. You sound like you're far, far away in a galaxy somewhere else.
What's right?
There we go. That sounds better. Can you hear him okay?
Yeah, it sounded loud.
Yeah, it sounds way louder. Just yell more, okay?
Okay.
You talk so soft. You're about to make a TBD fall asleep.
He has that midnight radio.
Yeah.
This is Chente the Homie with your midnight jams.
That's racist.
He's like, play some Bad Bunny, please. And I don't know how Bad Bunny plays.
I only know one song of his. It's called Booker T.
Oh, that's his?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because he's a wrestling fan.
Yeah. That song was in 2K22.
Yep.
So anyway, I kind of tied that together with people in power that can get away with a lot of things. And we started talking a little bit about I started telling him about Jeffrey Epstein and how he supposedly his demise and how all the cameras were off during that time when
he defied gravity with his neck.
Yes, and it looked like he was strangled, but allegedly. So I kind of filled him in on that, and then one other guy in our office is super skeptical of everything. You could be like, "Here is the evidence," and he would go, I don't buy it."
Who wrote this evidence?
Yes, yeah. Let me see. I'm like, well, you could go on Google and find it. No, there's no way that can't be true. And you're like, well, go on Google and find it. And then they see it firsthand, and they go, well, but who really wrote this? I don't believe these journalists. You're like, bro, it's right there in front of your face. How am I gonna break this down anymore? So, thank you guys for listening. We're here with Chente the homie.
Yo.
We're gonna say deuce.
Good night, good people.
Damn it. I forget about that.
Yeah. You want to go again? Chente the homie?
Yeah. Deuce.
TBD, Teddy Bear Dynamite, Theodore Dynamite.
Good night, good people.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for listening. And we will drop this episode, which I had no idea we would even do. But I think this kind of turned out cool.
We said we let it go where it goes.
Yep, it went there. Thought for the day. Just because things hadn't gone the way I had planned didn't necessarily mean they had gone wrong. Thank you guys for listening to the episode 6 and 7 recap and teaser. Hopefully you guys liked it. We will be getting those episodes out to you as soon as we are able to get those edited and sounding good. Trying to master the sound and master the editing before we can release them to you guys so they actually sound better in your headphones. They sound good in mine, but I guess I don't sound good in everybody else's ear. Thanks.